which Allah hates. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he said fasting has an amazing effect in preserving the physical outer strengths and the spiritual faculties, and in protecting them from any imbalance that brings to them harmful elements, which if gain ascendancy will ruin and spoil them, and it has a remarkable effect in eliminating all harms and entities that prevent them from being healthy. So therefore, fasting preserves the health of the heart and the limbs, and it returns them all that which has been stolen from them at the hands of lust and desires. It is from the greatest aids in attaining piety, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentions in his book, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum as-siyamu, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Oh, you who believe, oh, you who have faith, observing the fast. It has been prescribed upon you, just as it was prescribed for those who came before you. It was prescribed for all of the people that came before us as well. So that perhaps you can attain consciousness, piety, righteousness, the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allama Imam Sa'di rahimahullah, he said in his tafsir, explaining this word, explaining the ayat, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, explaining this ayat in Surah Al-Baqarah, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you may attain taqwa. Verily, fasting is one of the greatest ways to attain taqwa, because it comprises of implementation of the commandments of Allah and abandoning of His prohibitions. It comprises of piety in that. The fasting person abandons what Allah has forbidden him from food and drink and sexual relations and the like, which his soul inclined towards, seeking to draw close to Allah through this and hoping for His reward by refraining from it. This is piety. By refraining from that which your soul is inclined towards. By refraining from that which your soul has a desire to do. This is what the fasting, it prevents all of that. The fasting, it prevents all of this. Naam ya ayyuhan nas. So the fasting person, he trains himself to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he abandons what his soul's desires, even though he has the ability to carry it out. He abandons what his soul's desire, even though he has the ability to carry it out. Due to his knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to his knowledge that Allah is watching him, due to the fact that he knows that Allah is watching him. He abandons that because he have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the fasting person, he constricts the pathways of the devil, as that flows through the son of Adam like the passage of blood. As you find individuals, they make excuse, well, the devil made me do it. Ramadan, the devils are chained. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse. There's no excuses during this month. The fasting, it constricts the pathways of the devil as he flows through the son of Adam like the passage of blood. Through fasting, his influences is weak, and the person commits less acts of disobedience. The fasting person commits less acts of disobedience. Yes, we are human. Yes, we are going to fall into mistakes. We're going to fall into minor mistakes. But during the fast, you preserve it by staying away from that which breaks it, or that which blemishes it. That which blemishes it. Yani say, for instance, Qila wa qal, he said this, she said that. Backbiting and slandering. Does it actually break the fast? La. But it lessens the reward. It lessens the reward. So it is upon the Muslim to preserve his tongue, to preserve it, so that inshallah ta'ala he will get the reward by fasting for the sake of Allah. Naam ya ayyuhan nas. So the fasting person normally increases in acts of obedience. And acts of obedience are from the piety. Acts of obedience is from righteousness. Feeding the poor, saying the kind words, giving the salam, reading the Quran, reflecting over the Quran, tadabbur al-Quran. Ramadan is the month of the Quran. Throughout the whole year we have abandoned the Quran. Now we have an opportunity to read the Quran and get close to Allah in this month. So piety, taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to obey Him by implementing His commands and abandoning His prohibitions. The